Hello, everybody, and welcome to Paizo Live, our monthly fireside chat show where we bring our wonderful editorial staff on to tell you about what they're working on. I'm Alex Spidel, my pronouns are he, him, and I am Paizo's organized play coordinator.
And I am Maya Coleman. My pronouns are Z they, and I am Paizo's community and social media manager. How you doing, Alex?
I am fantastic. Welcome to your second Paizo Live, Maya.
Yes, second time. Let's go. I'm very
This
excited.
this is not your first rodeo, and therefore we expect you to know everything.
Well, I do. No, no, I'm gonna do my best. I really enjoy doing Paizo Live and engaging with the community. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Great. So before we start doing our jobs and talking about our products and all of these sorts of things, Maya, what games have you been playing lately?
Oh my gosh. So lately I've been playing a lot of this game called Japan Rural Adventure, which is essentially just Stardew Valley. But I can play it on my phone and I can play it vertically, which is very important because I
Mhm.
only ever play it like at the end of the day when I'm so tired and like done with everything else. And for some reason, I don't like to have to turn my phone horizontally. Like if I'm going to play horizontally, then I will just play on a Switch. Like my
Yeah,
phone should just be vertical. So I can do pretty much all the same stuff as you do in Stardew. I grow various plants. Although I have a dog that I rescued from a box
Oh,
in the river. I
that's so
like heard him crying one day, and I rescued him, and I took him in, and I adopted him, and I raised him, and I named him Sungmin after one of the Stray Kids members, who's also a dog. So yeah, I'm just living my best life in this
that all
game.
sounds that all sounds truly delightful. I love
It's
that for
really
you.
fun. What have you been playing lately, Alex?
I was about to say I will be straight with you, Maya. I will level with you, Maya. I in the past month I don't think I've played anything except Pathfinder, which is obviously wonderful,
Yes,
that's what we do here.
of
But
course.
like I don't have any other fun games to talk about. I just had 2 weeks of convention travel. I went to CostCon in Pittsburgh. I went to GalaxyCon in Richmond. I had a wonderful time at those conventions. I only played Pathfinder there. I don't think I've played anything else since the last time I was on
I
Paizo
mean,
Live. So
that's really exciting, though.
have you heard about Pathfinder? It's a great game, and I really
It
like
is.
it.
It is. It's a pretty dang fun game. It sounds like the conventions went well, though. So, I mean, at
They
least
did.
you were playing
It's
only Pathfinder, having a grand old time.
Yeah, absolutely. I had truly one of the most like fun tables I've had in quite some time. Like Sunday night at CosCon, it was just a delightful time. We were all on it. We were all going to get fish sandwiches. That's definitely what the adventure was about, as far as we're concerned. It was a great time.
Fantastic.
So anyway, folks, check out this Pathfinder role-playing game. We think it's neat. But
Yes.
we're also going to talk a bunch about Starfinder today. Maya, who are we talking to today?
Yeah. Today we've got a great group of team members here. We have Mike Kimmel, we've got Jessica Catalan, Shay Snow, and Joe Pasini, all to talk about Pathfinder, Starfinder, Pathfinder Quest, Free RPG Day. So many fun things that we're gonna be talking
Yes,
about today. It's gonna be rad.
yes. Absolutely. But first, we do have an exciting new Paizo update to share. The breaking news graphic goes here. I forgot to ask Rue for one. That was my mistake.
Dun dun dun.
Um, but for those who haven't heard, for those who haven't seen on the website yet, Paizo is excited to add two new subscription lines starting this very month. This one right now, April. That's the month we're in. That's wild.
Oh my god,
Anyway,
breaking
two new.
news. It's there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Rue, I love
Yes.
you.
Thank
Incredible.
you, Rue.
We have two new subscription lines starting this month. We have Starfinder Special Edition rulebooks and Pathfinder Pocket Edition rulebooks. Paizo subscribers get free PDFs with the cover price of each book, and you get early access to new game material. PDFs get granted when your order ships, up to 2 weeks before your street date. And of course, these two wonderful subscriptions join our collection of subscriptions for everything from Pathfinder rulebooks and adventure paths to Starfinder adventures and accessories. So yeah, Starfinder Special Edition rulebooks. You can now pre-order those. The special edition cover that we're about to show you, if we haven't already, is so good. It's
Yep.
so good. And you can also subscribe to Pathfinder Pocket Editions as well. So yeah.
And don't worry also if that's a whole lot of information to remember all at once. I know it's great and wonderful. There will be a blog also that we will be releasing tomorrow that will fill you in on the same information. So just in case this is I'm sure you're all very happy about hearing this here, and if you're as forgetful as I am, you will be told about it again tomorrow.
Yes. It looks like probably Rue has also put the subscription page into the Twitch chat if you're watching
Yep,
live, so you can head there and check out all the subscriptions.
absolutely.
Yeah. We
Alright.
are also going to be taking questions from the chat throughout the show for our group Q&A at the end. So if you have questions, drop them in chat, please, and we will grab them for the end of the show. But I think now let's give a warm welcome to Mike and Jessica to talk about the Starfinder Galaxy guide.
Yes, and
Transition activate.
Yep, see you guys.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hello, Mike and Jessica. Welcome to Paizo Live. It's lovely to have you. Let's start with Mike here. Would you like to introduce yourself to the people, please?
Sure. I'm Mike Kimmel. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm a developer on the really awesome Starfinder team. That's
And
the name.
hi, I'm Jessica Catalan. I am the senior developer here at Paizo. I am developer in charge of the Starfinder Society, and my pronouns are she, her.
And we love the work you do over there, Jessica. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Before we get started talking about the Starfinder Galaxy Guide, let me ask you two our traditional question here. What games have you been playing lately, other than, of course, the wonderful Starfinder 2nd Edition coming soon to a game store near you?
Jessica?
Mostly I've been playing Starfinder. I'm going to be real. I have plenty of things to test and try. But I haven't had a chance to play it yet. But I recently got, I recently got Jukebox, which is a little thin RPG zine, and you are players in a theater production, and you sing karaoke to play this game. So I'm really excited to play it. My husband and son will not want to play it with me, but my daughter will, and I got to get someone else to play it too.
Excellent.
I'm excited to read it and try it.
Rue is currently popping off in chat, like in our little internal chat here, so that's really great. I think you've got another player in Rue. Mike, what have you been playing lately?
You said aside from Starfinder, which makes my answer more difficult, because
you can talk
just
about
yesterday,
Starfinder,
I ran a playtest session internally here for some really cool stuff that I, of course, can't talk about, but I'll just say it was fun to be able to playtest some player-facing mechanics and some GM-facing mechanics as well. And we invited even some folks from another team, and it was long and a lot of fun. In my spare time, I'm playing a lot of the Pokemon trading card game with my children, which I've never really played until this year, and just finally decided to very casually get into it. And it's cute, it's fun. I love Pokemon. It's a good time. You know, playing with my kids is something that brings me much joy and happiness. And we're starting a Pathfinder game as well. My daughter just turned 6. Our son is about to turn 9. And we're starting a family game of Pathfinder, which should be fun.
Nice. That's super exciting. I love that. Well, yes, and I love you just dangling little, tidbits in front of people. We play tested a thing that we won't tell you about.
Cannot say anything about it.
You can all speculate about that on Reddit. So instead, let us transition and let's talk about something that we can talk about today, which is the Starfinder Galaxy Guide, which is why we've invited the two of you here today. So for anyone who hasn't heard about it, tell us, what is the Starfinder Galaxy Guide?
The Starfinder Galaxy Guide is kind of our first hardcover book that is coming out for the Starfinder role-playing game, and it is, I'd call it a setting primer, but it's also kind of a campaign primer, right? The way the book is structured is that it is divided into different types of adventure themes that you might run in a Starfinder game. So dystopian adventures, or war-torn adventures, or science fantasy adventures. And then it goes into those areas of the setting that could assist you in telling those kinds of stories, and what types of plot hooks and characters you might have in those stories. Jessica, anything else to add?
Yeah, so like Mike said, this book is very much meant to introduce you to the Starfinder setting and kind of like the big events going on each planet, in the Pact worlds, and throughout the wider galaxy, and to really inspire adventures. Many of these events are kind of like the stories that we want to be telling in this edition, or will be used as jumping off points for adventures in the Starfinder Society and other products. But it's not all narrative, right? There's lots of backgrounds for your characters with ties to these kind of adventure categories and the locations and the events. There's new ancestries in this book, 6 of them. There's information on our major factions, include like Abadar Corps, the Free Captains, things like that. And the Starfinder Society, of course.
Of course. We love the Starfinder Society.
It's kind of like, do you want to play a game in the Starfinder setting? Like, this is for players and GMs. This is like a whole ton of stuff to expand your character options, your story options. There's lots and lots of first edition lore books that you can go still pick up if you want. I've got a whole bunch right here.
Yep.
But like, this is the one that's like, hey, bringing everything up to like what's happening right now. What are the focus areas, like Jessica said, where there are stories that we might want to tell from Paizo's perspective, and also like, where do we think are cool places that you might tell your own stories in Starfinder 2e.
Yeah. So we're seeing here on the screen, of course, the cover of Galaxy Guide. I want to highlight the special edition there in the center because it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. I love the art. I love the treatment there. And of course, you can get that if you subscribe to the new Starfinder Special Edition rulebook subscription. There we go. Cross promotion. Got it done.
I love that special edition cover.
It's so good. It's so good. I love it so much. It's just so cool. So both of you worked on this book very heavily, I imagine. What sections that the two of you worked on were some of your favorites in here?
So everyone on the Starfinder team kind of helped plan and plot the content in this book, the big events in our setting that we wanted to highlight, the touchstones and the locations. That was all very much a team effort. Lead developer on this project was Jenny Jarzabski. So in a lot of ways, this book is her baby. But Mike did a lot of the development on this book. So I'll let you go ahead and go first, Mike, if you want to.
Yeah, I kind of joked when we were looking at this question yesterday, and I said, I can't remember which parts did I write as like an author and which parts did I develop, because it all takes, it's this big long process, and it was so long ago. Now it's like, it all blends together, and it was all so cool. But I wrote some updates to Castrovel, which is, of course, one of our main planets in the Pact Worlds, with elves and very fantasy vibes. And I wrote some other sections of the fantasy adventures about a planet called Tabard Minor and some other places. And I wrote some creepy stuff too. I wrote about the Gelid Edge, where, as you may know, if you've been paying attention to some of our playtest adventures, right, this region of space near Octurne, which has gone kaplowy, so to speak.
A little bit.
And exciting things are happening there. And so what's going on out there near where the newborn, this cosmic entity, was born, and their psychic birth cry, spread across the Pact Worlds and the galaxy, but like what's out there right where it was. But some of my favorite sections, I think, are some of the horror content that some of the other authors contributed that just kind of makes you go, like, this is just filled with so many different kinds of adventure in a way that I think it was brilliant, a brilliant choice by the team to organize it in that way, and was awesome to come on board and kind of help develop each section and see just the many possibilities. It's really hard to pick like what's my favorite part I worked on. I think my favorite part is just that aspect of the book that is so like varied.
Yeah, because the book is organized sort of by genre, right? Not by like area of the world or anything. So you've got like high-tech stuff, and you've got that horror stuff, and you've got that fantasy stuff. So it's sort of a different organization, right?
Yeah. different than stuff we've tried in the past. Yeah, like here's
Yeah.
part of our high-tech intro here, which is all about running adventures on high-tech worlds, right? Or with high-tech themes, but it doesn't have to be like, when you sit down to run a Starfinder game, you're not usually like, I'm going to run a campaign entirely set on Akaton. What you're probably actually thinking is, I want a dystopian themed adventure, and they're going to go to all kinds of different places with those themes. Right. And so the chapter talks about that,
Yeah. Jessica, is there a favorite part of this book for you that either that you wrote or that you worked on or that you're just excited for people to see?
Yeah, so I primarily worked on Galaxy Guide as an author. I wrote a few of the locations, particularly in the dystopian section, which I'm a big fan of. So places like Akaton and the Diaspora, which are both kind of at the heart of our system. I also wrote the World Shards of Arsharlan, which are kind of like a series of ancient megalithic alien ruins in the vast, which, we might investigate at some point in the future.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. Speaking of, I helped contribute to the Starfinder Society section. The Starfinders are a society of adventuring scholars and xenoarchaeologists who explore the galaxy and report their discoveries. They are very often on like the forefront of the stories we're telling in Starfinder, and they're usually there when something big is happening. So we can see some of the main NPCs from the Starfinder Society for Seeker, Sarmek, and Frontier. And then 2 venture captains who are people who will give you missions throughout your time as a Starfinder, Arvin and Nyaj. So we can see that they'll come back for Starfinder 2nd edition, which was nice.
Yes.
I also wrote half the ancestries in this book. So I did Dragonkin, I did Vlakas, and I did Sarcesians. So for favorites, writing Sarcesians is actually one of my very favorites. Yeah, there's one.
Sarcesians are so cool.
Are one of my very favorites. I love the Diaspora, which is like supposedly some ancient planets in the past blew up for some reason. And left behind this giant, left behind this giant asteroid belt. And the Sarcesians are the descendants of the people who lived there, right? Who survived, so they can suspend their respiration and fly through the void of space on these very cool energy wings that look like butterfly wings. They have long been a favorite of mine, so I was very happy to get to write them for 2nd edition and bring them forward and do something different and fun with them, right? There's a lot of room to expand what we can do with ancestries in this new rule set, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I see we have some Starfinder Society fans in chat, fans of Nyaj and Arvin. For those of you interested in Starfinder Society, you should watch the blog next week. Some very interesting blogs starting next week. Just saying. But we'll talk more about that later. Now, this book is releasing next month, right, in May, but Starfinder 2nd edition proper doesn't actually fully launch with the player core and everything until Gen Con. So this is basically a prequel to our launch. How can players and GMs use the content in this book between now and August before the full rules of the game are even there?
One of the super, super awesome things about Starfinder 2nd edition is it's compatible with Pathfinder 2nd edition. So like you can pick up this book and every single mechanic in this book is something that you will understand if you know Pathfinder 2e, right? You've got ancestries. They're just like ancestries in Pathfinder 2e. They're just designed with Starfinder in mind. I mean, you could take this setting material, and if you were really eager to start playing a Starfinder game like right now before Starfinder player core is out, you could use the playtest rulebook, or you could just use Pathfinder characters. You could do a bunch of like elves on Castrovel. We brought Castrovel up before, right? So like you could actually just start playing now with the material that you have. You don't have to wait. Obviously, you should still buy player core in August when it comes out at Gen Con, please. But like, you could just use this book when it comes out.
Yeah, there's lots narratively as well, right? So if you're playing Starfinder 1st edition still, or you're playing 2nd edition playtest rules right now, you can use the events in this book as is, immediately open it up, get inspired, and just kind of jump right in. You can use it to plan, right? What kind of stories you're going to tell when we do launch. Yeah, and you can use it to kind of, if you're a player, you can use it to get ideas for characters, you know, kind of those things, or GMs, right, prepping your upcoming campaigns and things. Starfinder 2nd edition, like Mike said, is also compatible with Pathfinder 2nd edition, so you can pull these ancestries right into your games. If you participate in the Pathfinder Society organized play program, and you happen to do the Starfinder playtest adventures that we released last year, there is a boon in them that gives you access to 2 of the ancestries from this book in the Pathfinder Society, that is Contemplatives and Dragonkin. So if you play Pathfinder Society, once you get the book, there's Contemplatives.
Yeah.
And you've completed the boon, like, go for it.
Yeah.
Contemplatives, in case you can't see from this amazing art, are these giant brains with dangly little vestigial bodies that have, they fly around on telekinesis. They're really smart. They got some psychic powers. They are lots of fun.
Shay apparently just found out in real time that these will be authorized in Pathfinder Society, so sorry we didn't tell you, Shay. Whoops.
Clearly, Shay should have been doing the Starfinder playtest.
Clearly. So this book also has some information on the different factions in Starfinder, and also kind of the setting updates, right, and kind of the major events that we've seen through the playtest. Can you tell us a little bit about some of that? Ooh, look at that art. I wonder what that's about.
Oh my, who is that? Is that some Vesk soldiers battling against... Oh my, have you played Empires Devoured, the playtest adventure? Well, I won't spoil it for you, but
you should play it.
Atlantis Star Empire is doing the things that are exciting, that you can play the beginning of those events right now with the playtest adventure. And will we be revisiting this topic or other things in Galaxy Guide soon? Yes. We are drawing directly from Galaxy Guide to inspire. Obviously we can't say anything about much of the adventures we're doing in org play or otherwise, but
I mean, you can. The people would like you to, but I understand why you won't.
We're directly drawing from content from Galaxy Guide to continue those stories. We put it in there into Galaxy Guide because we're excited to tell those stories, and we're going to tell some of them. So yeah.
Very, very exciting. I love it. And there's, like I said, some faction information in here as well. We talked about the Starfinder Society, but I think there are some other factions represented here as well.
Yeah. There is Abadar Corps. There are the Free Captains, the Hell Knights, the Knights of Galarian, the Starfinder Society, and the Xeno Wardens. So you'll get faction information on them, kind of how they work, recent events, stuff like that. But also there is an archetype for each of them in this book as well.
That's very exciting. It's nice that this book will have sort of both, that GM facing information, but also the player facing information. I think there's tons of options in here for players, and I'm really excited for people to get their hands on it. I think they'll have a lot of fun with it. I think that is just about our time here talking about Galaxy Guide at the moment. If you have any questions that we haven't answered in this segment, don't forget to drop them in chat. We'll grab them for our Q&A section at the end. Mike and Jessica, anything you would like to say as we end this segment? Anything you'd like to drop or tease to the people that you haven't already? I think we've given them plenty, but you never know. They're straining against their NDAs.
I will say that if you, maybe that's more than I should say. I will say that you should probably read the high-tech adventures chapter of this book. I'll go with that.
Okay. Oh yeah, you definitely should read the high-tech adventures chapter of this book.
During the next segment, I will be grabbing my PDF copy and finding out what is in there that I didn't notice the first time. All right.
Shenanigans.
Well, thank you both so much for joining us. We'll invite you. We'll invite both of you back at the end of the show, but I believe that I will see you even before that in a later segment.
Sure will.
So I will see you all very soon. And we will go ahead and take a quick commercial break here. So get up, stretch your legs, everyone. And then Maya will be back to talk with Joe Pasini about Pathfinder Quest, our upcoming board game. So stay tuned.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you. See you soon.
At the dawn of time, the gods united in a desperate battle to save the universe when the rough beast Rovagug aspired to devour planet after planet. In the end, he was not destroyed, only imprisoned in the heart of the planet Galarian. Since then, gods have risen and fallen, but all agree that the rough beast must never escape. Now, Gorum, god of war, has been slain, and the remains of his divine body rain down upon the face of the world. Where his blood and shattered armor land, mythic power takes root and war spreads. For Kira, Mariciel, Ezrin, and Amiri, 4 veteran adventurers seeking a lost relic of the sun god Sarenrae and answers to an unexpected assassination attempt, this cataclysm will set them on a desperate task, not only to understand and grapple with their newfound mythic powers, but to prevent the escape of the rough beast himself. Mysterious and sinister forces plot to ensure Rovagug's escape, and the heroes will have no easy time stopping their evil plans. With their burgeoning mythic power, the gift of one of Galarian's surviving deities, and the aid of newfound allies, will 4 mortals be able to stand before a god? Embark upon an epic tale of high adventure in the world of the best-selling Pathfinder role-playing game, In God's Reign by Leanne Merciel, coming soon to a bookseller near you. Find out more on Paizo.com or with the Prelude electronic books, The God's Reign Prophecies and Before the God's Reign. The fate of the world depends on it.
You've made names for yourselves as adventurers over the years, yet now it seems adventure has found you instead. Mysterious and magical hero cards have appeared among your belongings. Where did they come from? And what of the strange powers they grant? The brass dwarf protects you from fire and other harmful effects. The empty throne overwhelms your foes with hopelessness and despair. The paladin defends you from harm and protects you from peril. And the rabbit prince lets you strike at foes with great accuracy. But be careful his advice doesn't shatter your blade. There are so many more cards out there to be found. They've been scattered across the world, so now the hunt is on. With each card you gather, your power grows. Before long, you'll use this power to travel to places beyond reality itself. Yet still, the question remains, where have these cards come from? Who could have created them? And for what purpose? And what of the fiendish armies and monstrous foes who gather against you and seek the cards for themselves? You race against time, gathering these treasures before they're used against you. Will your quest lead you to legendary realms and grant the destiny you deserve? Or are you merely pawns, unwittingly serving mysterious forces who watch from afar, waiting for the right time to pluck your futures away? In the end, what chance do adventurers have against those who would steal fate itself?
All right, welcome back to Paizo Live, everyone, and welcome to the show, Joe. Can you please introduce yourself and, of course, tell us what games have you been playing lately?
Yeah, hi, Maya. I'm Joe Pasini. My pronouns are he, him. I'm the lead designer for Paizo Games, which is our sort of internal design and development team of me and Jason Bowman currently. Paizo has put out board games before, but we're really making a push to do some new and fun stuff.
Nice.
In terms of games I've been playing, I am in a Pathfinder game. We just hit level 9.
Oh,
We're in
congratulations.
Thank you. We're in this weird vault full of abominations. I don't know if people know about that one.
Oh yeah, just your regular run-of-the-mill pesky vault full of
Yeah.
abominations.
Constant abominations.
How's it been going?
Pretty well. We finally found some friendly. Well, I shouldn't spoil anything, but
No spoilers. At least,
was-
except for at the end, I'll ask you one spoiler about Pathfinder Quest.
Oh,
But
yeah.
definitely, we want to leave the mysterious abominations in that pesky vault hidden for all of the adventurers who would like to play and figure it out for themselves. But hopefully,
Yes.
you've been having fun with that campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm just trying to
Oh yeah, no worries.
get a cooler background than.
Oh, nice, very cool. Nice piano in the background, very classy.
Classy. So yeah, I've also been, but sorry, I missed what you said because I was
Okay,
magically changing the world
since
around
we
me.
don't want to spoil Abomination Vaults, why don't you tell us about something else? What's another fun game you've been playing recently, or just something that you've played at some point this year? I guess we're still in the first half of the year.
Oh God, we are. I've been playing some Civilization 7. I just finished Case of the Golden Idol, which took me a long time to get around to, but people recommended it, and I was glad they did. And then I've been playing a lot of board games online. Board Game Arena is a favorite place for me.
Yeah, heck yeah, board games.
Just One to Arc Nova, just kind of everything. Anything anyone want to play with me.
That's awesome. And so we have you here on Paizo Live today to talk about Pathfinder Quest, which will be launching on BackerKit on May 20th. And we're super excited to talk about it today. For all the folks watching, Joe, why don't you tell us what is Pathfinder Quest?
Yeah, so Pathfinder Quest is a fantasy adventure board game for 1 to 4 players. And it comes in a big box with a lot of components. We have a picture of it, but it's going to be probably quite a bit bigger than that even, although that is the art that we have for it, which is pretty rad, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And inside there'll be 3 books, 8 dice, more than 100 pawns, 17 two-sided map tiles, more than 300 cards, and much, much more. A bunch of stuff in there. And in the game, you're going to take on the roles of 4 adventurers who spend time exploring and engaging in tactical combat. And you'll make those characters in just a few quick steps, after which you might end up with a gnome wizard or a cleric maybe, or a goblin fighter or rogue. We have a lot of options familiar to those familiar with Pathfinder or just kind of fantasy in general.
Nice.
And then the game's adventure book has a full campaign of 12 adventures. You're going to play a subset of 9 of those depending on your choices. So for example, in your second adventure, you're going to decide, do you stay and defend this town or do you depart into the woods on a rescue mission? And that'll bifurcate your path and you will forever change the story based on your choice. Throughout the campaign, you're going to be faced with challenges that require rolling special 6-sided dice and then reading a result in the challenge book based on your result. And that might lead to more choices, more challenges, new items you get, or secrets about the narrative. These adventures take about 90 minutes depending, and the first one walks you through all the rules as you play, which I'm really excited about. I'm not a big tutorial, talk at you tutorial kind of person, so I love just getting to play right away.
Yeah, no, that's so valid. Sometimes I really want to play a board game, but then they'll be like, oh sure, it'll just take me maybe an hour and a half to explain the rules, and I'm like, well, actually I've changed my mind and I no longer want to do this. So it's really nice that the book just walks you through the rules while you're playing it. Kind of gives you some hands-on way to learn the rules, which is definitely a great way to remember them as you're going as well. Then by the time you start doing new stuff, you've already got it in your head from the first one.
Exactly.
That's awesome. What are some of your favorite parts of this game? As a designer, of course, since you designed it, but also what are some favorite parts as a player?
I think, they're mostly overlapping, which is that I like when you have seemingly simple choices that kind of interact in a lot of different ways and make for a ton of possibilities. Because that's just a lot of replayability for me. It leads to interesting stories. You can have the same people sit down with the same stuff and come up with wildly different experiences. And I love that in a game. So even just playtesting Quest, we've seen so many groups of players deal with the exact same combat in a different way each time. So it might be based on their character choices, which is not just your sort of ancestry and class, right? So not just your human fighter, but also the specific feats and spells and things that you pick. So one fighter might be charging across the battlefield to slam into someone, and the other might be hanging out by the skeleton archers so they can kind of reactive strike. them when they shoot their bows. And that's just like a minor choice. There's also combat challenges. So both exploration and combat in this game have these challenges that you can attempt with these dice. And you go read the challenge book entries, but you can decide who's doing it and when they're doing it. And the ones in combat will often change things about the combat. And so when you do it and whether you do it is really determines a lot of what happens. And then even small things like the randomized turn order, there's characters that can manipulate that and say, like, actually, I'm going to go first before this skeleton shoots me in the face. So there's lots of.
Now I'm like,
I got a little specific there.
Out of the challenge book, like you run into a skeleton who shoots you in the face. Okay, very specific. Interesting. Okay. I mean, it definitely still sounds fun. What are, like, especially since you said that it's not the same races and classes because you have all of these cards that you see as well in the game, like, what are some things that people who are new to Pathfinder can look forward to, but as well as also what are some things that people who are familiar with Pathfinder to look forward to? Like, what will be familiar to people who have played Pathfinder before?
So veteran Pathfinder players have a lot to look forward to in this. The campaign actually takes place in Darkmoon Vale, which is kind of the first part of Golarion that was explored outside of Erisea, and it's in a lot of the same locales as Crown of the Kobold King, the adventures there. But it's years after. It takes place years after those adventures. So there's a lot of callbacks to stuff like that. If you happen to have played that or have an interest in that, you will definitely recognize that. There's also, the classes, ancestries, and even having 3 actions on your turn in combat, go figure. That's going to be pretty familiar to folks who are familiar with Pathfinder. And then we have enemies and items and all kinds of things that are specifically Pathfinder, like a Wayfinder card I brought a picture of. Thank you.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. And I think one of the cool things about this for people who are into Pathfinder is that it's going to be a great way to play a Pathfinder-like experience with with friends and family who wouldn't necessarily want to play a traditional tabletop role-playing game, but would happily play an adventure board game that's 90 minutes and then you move on.
Right. And there's going to be a lot of people. We're really excited to see a lot of people who are familiar with Pathfinder playing it, of course. But there are also going to be a whole lot of other people who are maybe not so familiar with Pathfinder who just love fun board games like this. And so, like, what are some of those things that those people especially can look forward to in Pathfinder Quest?
Yeah, there's plenty for them too. That's kind of, we wanted to make sure that we kept an eye on approachability, even while having these connections to Pathfinder in the past. We also definitely wanted nobody to be confused or overwhelmed by, like, what am I supposed to know about this? There's actually some, like, lore entries that we tucked away for those who are curious. But if you don't care about Shaika, you can just move on with your life. That's totally fine. And in terms of what's especially fun, I think gameplay-wise, I think it's just this sweet spot between sort of the kill monsters, go to the next room, kill monsters, go to the next room, like no story really. And which those games, none of what I'm saying is like these games are bad, but we're just looking for this middle spot between super simple and then very involved, like takes many hours to just set up the game and then play it. And so somewhere in the middle where you have like a satisfying narrative, you have lots of choices to make, and they're gonna matter over the course of a campaign. As a board gamer myself, like that kind of stuff really appeals to me, and I hope it'll appeal to a lot of other people who specifically enjoy board games.
Absolutely. Like, I'm also really familiar with board games. My main tabletop background is in board games. So playing Pathfinder Quest, I've only played it just through a little bit and the first time, and it was so much fun already just to be able to pick it up so quickly that honestly, like, for all the board gamers who are coming into it, great sweet spot. Excellent place of not super daunting of the rules, but definitely easy to pick up so that it's fun for everybody at the table, whether you're familiar with Pathfinder or you're not, which I think is really good.
Yeah.
And so how can people get involved with the campaign? What can people do to get excited about Pathfinder Quest besides just enjoying our stream tonight? What's something else people can do?
So paizo.me/Pathfinder Quest will take you to our backer kit page, which has a lot of information and a place to sign up for the pre-launch mailing list. Now everybody who does sign up for that and then eventually backs Pathfinder Quest will get a free campaign coin, which we see a sketch of here. That's going to be very awesome. And then
this is like a metal coin, right? This is like
yeah,
heck yeah. Who doesn't love a metal coin? Like, first of all, who doesn't love a metal coin, period? But also, who doesn't love a free metal coin, literally just for signing up early? Like, there's no downside. Just you have to do it, you guys.
I'm very excited for the table that plays Quest, and every time there's a decision or a choice, they just let the coin decide. Or every time there's like a really big one, they just go like, you know what, let's leave it to fate and use this coin and flip it and see what happens.
And it's good to know there's so many options that you can just do that and still have a super fun time.
Absolutely.
That's
and
awesome.
Then also on Backer Kit, there's going to be a launch party feature where you can there'll be like polls and trivia questions, and different like backers and campaign followers can be in teams that can earn points, and then we can stream directly to that page so we can come back and talk to you more about the game and the campaign. And then of course, this launches May 20th, but there'll be reveals and stuff on there before then of stretch goals and tiers and add-ons and things like that. And anyone who follows and joins the launch party will also qualify for that coin.
For the coin?
Yeah.
Awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And we will also be making announcements on our social media and our forums about these dates as well. So definitely keep an eye out on all of those places for more information about Pathfinder Quest, which will come out again on May 20th. But before we go into our next segment here, Joe, do you have like at least one spoiler about Pathfinder Quest that you want to tell everyone about here on Paizo Live?
So there's so many
one juicy spoiler.
Little secrets we stuffed in there. I think the one thing I'll say is actually more of a warning, which is you're not supposed to look through the item deck unless instructed to go get an item. And I would say don't look through the item deck unless you're specifically instructed to do it.
Yeah, there's definitely not anything. Don't do it.
Nothing.
I'm worried about this rabbit hole. Like, I feel like because we told them not to do it, the first thing they're gonna do is open the box and do it. But you have been warned, everyone. Yes. Joe said not to do it. Please don't do it. You have free will, but also don't do it. Okay, I wonder what's in there. All right. Well, thank you for coming to talk to us about Pathfinder Quest. And once more, everybody, that will go live on Backer Kit on May 20th, and the launch party will go before that, and we will post about it on our social media as well as our forum. So don't miss it, because if you do join the launch party, not only will you get a whole bunch of fun information about the campaign ahead of time, but also when you do support the campaign, you will get a free metal coin, which is literally just neat looking. And as someone who loves like really tactile things in board games, like it's just nice to have like a cool metal coin while you're playing, even if it's just for fun. Like it's neat, and it's got a scary dragon on it. It's cool. It's awesome. So definitely support us, Pathfinder Quest Backer Kit, May 20th. All right. Thank you so much for talking to us today, Joe. And now we're going to have another commercial break. And after that break, Alex will be back with Mike, Jessica, and Shay to talk about our free RPG Day adventures. So everybody stay tuned for that, and we will see you soon.
Our history is one of blood. We were driven to the surface before the first dwarf saw sky, harried by violence and driven by a desperation to survive. We turned to warfare to make a home and a name for ourselves. We have always had more enemies than allies. We learned to distrust our neighbors. We became prey to subjugators. The orcs became known as brutes and beasts. But we have always been so much more. Now is the time to prove it. We can show the world that we aren't the monsters of their stories, but a people with a vibrant culture, worthy of praise and preservation. I, Ardax the Whitehair, invite you, people of Galarian, to Torrentmoot, taking place during the annual Flood Truce of Belkzen. You will see the beauty of the floodwaters that bring life to our lands. Celebrate and feast with us. Learn of Belkzen and the ways of the orcs. A way of strength and prosperity. That is, if you can handle it.
In the nation of Shenmin, spirits and monsters stalk the depths of Spectre Wood, and ghost towns outnumber those inhabited by living souls. But this was not always the case. Over 100 years ago, the Age of Lost Omens began in Tiansha with the collapse of the mighty Lunghua Empire, an event that left the small towns of Shenmin isolated and forced their citizens to become self-sufficient or fall to ruin. Willow Shore was one such town. Founded to support the construction of a remote mountain monastery, Willow Shore soon transitioned over to a lumber town, and like so many others, it was forced to fend for itself in the years after the Empire's fall. Not 2 years later, the records speak of a mysterious curse that fell upon the town, and while details of what took place have been lost to time, the events of Willow Shore's Season of Ghosts will now be told. The Season of Ghosts begins during the first days of summer, and is a time when the unquiet spirits of Spectrewood grew particularly restless. The townsfolk of Willow Shore celebrate this with a night of feasting on the last day of spring, but when a group of heroes wakes the day after, they find their hometown under siege. Fog shrouds the town, and the night sky shimmers under the light of a crimson moon, and monsters now stalk freely through the town's streets. While defending the monstrous invaders and lighting the town's protective eternal lantern could restore Willow Shore to safety, these invaders and strange manifestations are only the beginning, as walls of ghostly shapes rise in the surrounding woods. The town of Willow Shore has become cursed, and its people must band together if they are to survive the coming year and the horrific monsters they will face. Can the town's newest hero save their homes, family, and themselves? Or will the Season of Ghosts mean the end for them all?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Paizo Live. My goodness, what a crew we have here for this segment on Free RPG Day. Hello, everybody. Mike and Jessica, welcome back to the show. It's been so long since I've seen you. Did any of you manage to play a game in the 20 minutes between our first and our third segment you'd like to tell the people about?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Nice. Against Mike or against the kids or someone else?
My rabbit. How's that?
Nice. Nice.
All blatant lies. I did not do any games in the last 20 minutes.
I believed you. Mike, I think you might be hardware muted. I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
I was going to say the trailers made me really want to play Pathfinder, which is
How about that?
like, yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen
so
that Triumph of the
excited for
Tusk.
Triumph of the Tusk.
I don't think I've ever seen that trailer before in my life, so that was a fun one to see for me. I have light all over my face. Sorry about the window. Shay, hello, welcome back. Welcome to Paizo Live. Would you like to introduce yourself to the people?
Sure, I'm Shay Snow. I'm one of the Pathfinder Society developers, and I use they, them pronouns.
Thank you so much. Shay, what games have you been playing lately?
Oh, I have been playing very happy, joyful games like The Long Dark, where it's a survival game where you basically walk through the Canadian wilderness and you get attacked by bears and wolves. And last night I got attacked by a cougar and almost lost my 105-day run.
Oh no!
If you die, you restart all over.
Jay,
It's
that's
great.
my favorite game. I didn't know you played. We should talk about it.
It's fantastic.
Incredible. I started watching the show that used to be on History Channel, and I think is now on Netflix, Alone, where it's just dudes surviving in the wilderness alone, and it sounds very that. So excellent. I love that.
It really is. Also, it has an encumbrance system, and I hate it because every time it's like, you're over encumbered, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm not dropping any of my canned corn today. The other happy, joyful, cheerful one is Dredge, which is a very Lovecraftian Cthulhu fishing game. Where if you fish too long at night, you get attacked by the horrors of the deep.
As one does.
Yeah, last night my boat got smashed by a giant tentacle that just emerged at 2 a.m. and I was like, oh no, all of my fish. They
Oh
are
no.
gone.
Oh no. Well, we are here with 3 current or former organized play developers, which is lovely, but we're not here exactly to talk about organized play. Instead, we're here to talk about our free RPG Day adventures this year. For those in the audience who might not be aware, Free RPG Day is an initiative that does exactly what it sounds like. It brings free RPG adventures and accessories and rules to your friendly local game store. Retailers can order kits at freerpgday.com. Inside are all sorts of goodies, including every year adventures from Paizo, both Pathfinder and Starfinder. I guess not always adventures, but always Pathfinder and Starfinder content for us. And so we have offerings this year again for both Pathfinder and Starfinder. Let's start with my friends on Starfinder first and let Shay get warmed up. Jessica and Mike, what does our Starfinder free RPG Day offering look like this year?
Well, our Starfinder free RPG Day offering is an adventure for first level characters called Battle for Nova Rush, and it is written by, drumroll, Jessica Catalan, who's
Oh my
right here,
goodness!
so we can say all kinds of things about it.
Oh my goodness. Jessica, tell me of the Battle for Nova Rush.
Yeah, so you are playing as prisoners who are locked in the brig of a starship. The starship was boarded and captured by the Free Captains, which are dangerous pirates. And when the corpse fleet attacks the starship, which is the Nova Rush, you can seize your chance to try to escape and maybe take back the ship.
Excellent. So how do you and the team decide what you wanted to write for this year's free RPG Day adventure? Because, much like we said in the Galaxy Guide segment, the full system launch isn't actually until Gen Con a couple months later because free RPG Day is in June. So how did you decide what you wanted to put out this year?
As the dev on the project, it was kind of like one of those things where there were a lot of restrictions in place and you had to be creative within that, but like it bred a lot of creativity to be in that situation. So like we knew we had to do something that would work with the rules people already have, right? Because it's coming out before the rules. We knew that we had to do something with like super iconic things from Starfinder to the Corpse Fleet and the Free Captains and iconic characters, right? The iconic characters the adventure are familiar iconics like Pasini, and some of our new iconics like Chick Chick Day, and we also knew that we were needing a new iconic starship because, spoiler alert for our playtest adventures, but the Sunrise Maiden is gone. So,
oh no!
Yep. And so all of that kind of just said, yeah, we just got to do something on this new ship, and we should have some classic enemies and some classic characters, and all kind of just sprang from there.
Nice. So Jessica, typically these adventures include pre-generated characters so that you can just sort of sit down and play right away. Can you tell me a little bit about the characters that you included with this adventure?
Yeah, so Mike touched on it a moment there, but this comes with 4 pre-generated iconic Starfinder characters. They were made with the Starfinder playtest rules, so you have everything that you need both in this and if you're looking at the playtest rulebook to keep going. So there is Chick Chick, who is our brooding mystic. He is the spellcaster, a healer. He will bond with your allies. Day, who is a flamboyant Solarian. They are a melee combatant that fights with a solar ribbon and can control the power of suns and stars and gravity. Isif, who is a stern operative. They are the party sharpshooter. They're kind of a mobile ranged combatant. Aim with your pistols, fire away. And Navasi, who is our cunning and charismatic envoy. She's the team leader. She gives her team orders and directives and supports them however she can, probably with a gun in hand.
Probably. That's super exciting. It's awesome to sort of see the iconics in this first free RPG Day adventure give people a little taste of second edition, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I'm super excited for that adventure. Again, people can get that. Free RPG Day is June 21st, 2025 this year. So head down to your friendly local game store and check out the Battle for Nova Rush. Look at that. Jessica, explain this art to us. What is... No, go back. What was that?
This one? Oh,
Yeah.
there. Okay, now I can see it. So
the
this
Nova Rush.
is the Nova Rush. This is a look at the new iconic starship. This is where you are starting as a prisoner. We are being attacked in the background by the corpse fleet, and hopefully you can escape and, well, take over.
That would be great.
That
I
would
guess
be
I
great.
will ask a bit of a curveball question to cue up our next piece of art. Are there any other than the iconics, are there any sort of iconic NPCs from the setting that we might run into as part of this adventure?
Yeah. So, while you're playing this adventure, you should probably keep an eye out for a chance to, make friends. Because not every problem needs to be solved with a laser pistol and a right hook. And there's this very friendly looking person who might be familiar. If you've played the Starfinder playtest, you will recognize Captain Concierge here. And Captain Concierge is they're kind of like the computer aboard this starship. So you can interact with Captain Concierge, hopefully get some assistance there.
How delightful. He's just a little guy.
Yeah.
Marvelous. Well, I'm super excited for that adventure, but now I would like to talk about Pathfinder and switch over to Shay. Hello, Shay. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. I haven't played any games in the past 5 minutes since you've been talking to Jessica.
You haven't been like, pulling up Minesweeper on your phone or anything. Do the kids play Minesweeper these days? I don't know. Angry Birds? Probably not that. Anyway, Shay, tell us about the Pathfinder Free RPG Day offering this year.
So the Pathfinder Free RPG Day offering this year is just a little bit different. Usually we offer a low-level option, but since we're featuring a new ancestry, the Dragonborn, we wanted to offer a higher level adventure. So this is a level 10 adventure. It is for the Scourge of Sheerleaf. Y'all are all of the pre-generated characters are Dragonborn characters who travel to the small town of Sheerleaf, who is currently being attacked by an adult adamantine dragon that is bothering them.
Oh no.
He has taken their livestock, he has taken their crops, and then also he has taken the mayor's wife and their children. So they are working together to. You're gonna have to work together to go and defeat this dragon, and maybe some other things along the way.
Naturally. I love that you're using the Dragon Blood versatile heritage here and really showing it off from
Dragon
Player Core
Blood.
2.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So usually the free RPG Day adventures are low level. What were some of the advantages and some of the challenges of rating this adventure for 10th level?
So some of the advantages for writing this for 10th level was I was able to give a lot of the NPCs, the pre-generated characters. I'm still an OP brain. I was able to give the pre-gens a lot of really powerful stuff to do. So like Brave Wanderer, who is our lushy dragon fruit, dragon-blooded adventure. He is a very powerful little sorcerer, and he just really takes advantage of a lot of those feats. Our fighter can fly. It's all sorts of things that usually when you're in the lower levels, everybody kind of wanders around and they're walking, but everybody here can really make use of space and really show off all of their really cool abilities. The other side of it was balancing the encounters. I kept wanting to make everything a little bit too strong because I believe in y'all, and I believe in y'all's ability to beat anything you come across.
You've developed some of my turnovers. You know that I'm on your side there, but
Yes.
not always. And so, speaking of challenging encounters, will we get to face off with this adamantine dragon directly by the end of the adventure? There he is, the
Yes,
chunky
you
boy.
will. You will get to fight him at the very end of the adventure, and not only that, if you're playing this in person, WizKids is dropping an entire mini for the adult adamantine dragon that you can go ahead and set right in front of your players and startle the heck out of them.
Excellent. I love the power move of just be like, roll initiative, clonk, here is a huge dragon mini. This is your problem now. Yes, you can. Yes, you can definitely pick that up at your local game store or from WizKids and have that ready for this free RPG Day adventure. You talked a little bit about this, but I love the pre-generated characters so much, so I want to go back to them. Can you give us just like a quick rundown of the 4 pre-generated characters that you created and tell us a little bit about them?
Oh, yes. So we have Brave Wanderer, who I mentioned is our dragon fruit Leshy sorcerer. He's very friendly and he likes to have a lot of he's very curious about the world. And he's one of those guys who's going to wander around behind you and just pester you with question after question after question after question after question. And he is fantastic, and I love him. And I'm just looking at my other notes so I can make sure I got everything else.
Everything we want to say about Brave Wanderer in one convenient place.
He's our favorite, and we love him.
Yes. The other ones are whatever. Brave Wanderer is the best.
Our kobold dragonblood friend up there is Siskmi, who is a rogue. She has kind of a sad backstory. She comes from a kobold warren that was being harassed by another dragon. And she saw a group of adventurers stand up to that dragon, and she was like, I am also going to become that big, strong person. And I'm going to stand up and do all this. So we love her. Bump. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. All my stuff disappeared. We have Kira over here, who is our fighter. She fights with a great pick. Obviously, like I said, she can fly. She does, as I saw in the comics, she does look a lot like a Goron. But she is not a Goron. She just has green dragon-blooded skin. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. She also is definitely not hot-headed, definitely not temperamental, and she definitely does not, pick fights very easily.
Of course not.
And then we have our lovely elf friend down here, who, as you can tell, he is in a wheelchair. He is from an occult dragon, and he is a cleric of Aristil. He has his lovely battle wheelchair and his reliable, strong bow.
Excellent. These are 4 wonderful characters. I can't wait to see them hit the tables and see people like make some little minis for them.
Yeah, they're gonna be great. I can't wait.
That's so fun. I'm so excited to see these free RPG Day adventures hit the table. Again, you can get copies of these and get to play them at your local game store. Our Pathfinder and Starfinder Society volunteers, I'm sure, will be out around the world running these adventures for you on release day. Is there anything about either of the adventures, Pathfinder or Starfinder, that anybody wants to share before we let the people go and we go to our final segment of the show? I'm just so excited for them. I think they're great.
Beware cave bears. Think wisely around cave bears.
I think that's good advice for life, really. All right, then. Well, thank you all so much. We will let you go for just a brief break here. We're going to take a quick ad break, and then we will bring everyone from the whole show back together for our Q&A segment. If you have any questions about anything we've discussed today or anything we didn't discuss today that you want to know more about, drop them in the chat. We will grab them here during our final ad break, and then we will be back with you. But until then, we're going to take a quick break. I'll be right back.
Welcome, friends, to the Greenwood Gala, where all the people of the forest, even talking animals like me, come together to celebrate everything wonderful about nature. We get to know each other, have fun, and respectfully share ideas. Here in the Verdurin Forest, the Treaty of the Wildwood protects nature. It lets our neighbors harvest a few trees, conserve the rest, and all in all keeps everyone peaceful, warm, and happy. This is a pleasant place, full of wonder, where everyone gets along. Wait, what's that? Well, I mean, the treaty keeps the arboreals happy, so they would never... Oh, nope, they look angry. Surely the Fae of the forest understand that... Oh, this isn't good. I can't remember the last time that... Oh no! Everyone needs to hold up for a minute. We can talk this through. Wait, no, not like that. Okay, the Verduran Forest is always fun and cheery, but this is getting out of control. Get some negotiators. Meet with the lumberjacks and druids. Smile a bunch. No, this is not how we're supposed to negotiate. This shouldn't be happening. We're supposed to be gathering, sharing, having fun. And now, everyone's tearing apart the treaty. Maybe we need some new faces. Some fresh ideas. Someone who's gonna make things right. Hey, maybe some Wardens of Wildwood.
Survival in a world beset by magic and evil takes more than a lucky roll of the dice. Complete your Pathfinder Core Rulebook collection with Player Core 2, an expansion on character options for the remastered Pathfinder 2nd Edition rule set. Tinker and test out formulas as an alchemist, make keen observations, and get to the heart of the matter as an investigator. Stand strong and ferocious as a barbarian. Take up a holy, or unholy, mantle in service of a deity as a champion. Dance through battle with the grace and bravado of a swashbuckler. Maintain a balance between mind, body, and spirit as a monk. Take hold of the innate magic in your sorceress bloodline. Explore the mysteries of your fate as an oracle. And build even more customized characters with archetypes, ancestries, versatile heritages, and more.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Paizo Live for our final reaction segment, our Q&A segment, where we take all of the wonderful questions that you all asked in chat, and we pepper our editorial staff with them until they tell us to stop. And even then, we continue. That's definitely how this works. I'm so normal about this. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the show.
Hello.
Hello.
I will go ahead and start us off. I'm just taking the mic because I want to do it. I want to talk to my friend Joe about Pathfinder Quest because I didn't get to do that during the segment. Hi, Joe. How are you?
Hi, buddy. Good.
Someone from chat asked what class and ancestry you had the most fun playing during the playtesting and development portion of Pathfinder Quest.
Okay, so I talked a little bit about the fighter. I think that's got to be one of my favorites because you get to really feel like a fighter and protect your friends and also do some damage and also run around. And being good at athletics turns out to be handy in this game, as it turns out. So, and then in terms of ancestry, the sort of like min-maxer in me wants to be this dwarf that gets some fire resistance because there is a lot of fire in this game too. But I also really love there's an ancestry that, because our ancestries and backgrounds kind of come on one card. And so there's an ancestry that has a background where you're a local. That's all it says on the background. It's not like add more dice to this roll or do this. It's just you're a local. And then periodically throughout the game, like if you're a local, you get a special scene. Like, you know, some locals are talking. You don't have to sneak up and stealth listen to them or diplomacy your way in. You can just talk to them because they know you, and you get a whole different result. So.
Secret hack, simply be from the place where the adventure happens.
Yes, exactly.
All right, and I'm going to be talking to Shay and Jessica and Mike because I did not get to talk to you guys. Hi, hope you're having a great Friday in Paizo Live. Thank you guys for coming today. So we do have a question also about the Galaxy Guide, which is, let me see. Yes, okay. What archetype in the Galaxy Guide do you think will work best for Starfinder Society, and can you tell us about it?
Of course. Work best is an easy answer. You would want to be a xenoarchaeologist. So these are characters who want to uncover the secrets of the past. They'll rely on wits, training, and luck kind of to survive. As part of the dedication feat, one of the benefits is you get a special type of lore called Delve Lore, which you can use to recall knowledge about like ancient history and relics and people and languages and stuff. So it is very, very useful for Starfinders. And there's fun feats, but I will spoil. Don't touch that. which you should always shout with enthusiasm at the table. It will irritate no one ever. Don't touch that is a reaction that you can trigger when an ally triggers a trap. And then you can either prevent or delay the trap from triggering or grant your allies a bonus against, the attack of the trap kind of thing.
Mike, was that the thing that you were going to share?
That's the spoiler I was going to share. Don't touch that.
I'm sorry, I did it first. I touched it.
Mike, I will maybe ask you a question then, as the developer on the Free RPG Day and Nova Rush. Can you tell us a little bit more about the new iconic spaceship? It looked like it was kind of like missing a piece or something. Can you tell us about what kind of ship that is and what it would be used for, other than, I guess, hauling our iconics around as prisoners and getting attacked by the corpse fleet?
I'll tell you that this ship has been dismantled by space pirates and repurposed for piracy, but that doesn't mean you have to become space pirates yourselves. No, the shape of the ship is it kind of has this massive, bay in the middle of it. This ship was designed in-house by our own brilliant Kent Hamilton, who did all kinds of cool sketches, and there's a full map of the interior of the starship, and so you can see all of the cool things that are in there. It is full of all kinds of interesting, there's one of my favorite little things on the map is a little rug that's like an alien bear rug almost, so like that. Oh, no. And so it's kind of a brand new design that we created that is, I think, a lot of fun. There was a lot of fun injected into this based on the fact that some pirates took it over, and there's all kinds of little hidden nooks and crannies. I'll tell you, as a player in this adventure, explore, look around, see what you might be able to crawl into and discover as you're exploring this starship. Yeah.
Intriguing hints here today on Paizo Live.
I've also got another question for Joe about Pathfinder Quest. Can you tell us whether or not Pathfinder Quest is a legacy board game, or if people are fans of legacy board games, what are some things that they'll like about Pathfinder Quest if it isn't one, just in case?
Yeah, so it's not legacy in the sense there's no destruction or permanent altering of the components, other than it comes with a campaign sheet that you do use to keep track of both your characters and what choices you made for them, and also on the other side, what choices you made in the campaign and what results you've gotten. So I mentioned fire. If you let certain things burn down, that could be bad, and you might have to record that, and that might come back to bite you later, or it might not even be a bad thing, but just change a future outcome. So I think fans of legacy games will really like the sort of continuing story, and the fact that things you did earlier in an adventure could affect later in that adventure, or even several adventures later.
That's good. That's rad. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
I love that. Shay, the people would just like to know more about cave bears. Would you like to tell them anything?
Well, would the people like to roll a nature check to know more about cave bears?
Hang on, I've got a D20 around here somewhere.
I'll roll my crochet one. Hang on really quick.
Do it.
Hang on. 14!
Oh, what's your nature modifier?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Shay's gonna have to make this up right now and tell me if I succeeded.
Sure. Let's see. Cave bears are very interesting. So what I created specifically for this adventure was I updated the cave bear into an armored cave bear. So I wouldn't hit it with just regular weapons, if you know what I mean. I might have some special adamantine weapons going around.
Intriguing.
But also, if you fight them the wrong way, they might just set up a boulder trap and smush the mayor's wife and her children. So, don't do that!
No! Okay.
I see the chat is also asking me to share my crochet D20, so I will. This is the crochet D20 that I made, and I will be teaching all of you how to make at PaizoCon. So more reasons to come to PaizoCon. I will be showing all these things. I'm gonna have a pattern for it, and we'll be crocheting and having a fun crafty hour. I even I don't know if my camera will show this well, but I even made a little tiny itty bitty teeny weeny Paizo logo for the 20 that took forever and was nearly impossible, but there it is.
Incredible.
Great.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
also, because I used, for crocheters out there, because I used half double crochet stitches for inside the lines, it does actually roll and land on a space, which is neat. It is actually a
Nice.
functioning D20, even though it's also squishy.
Yeah,
You're
for like
cool and talented.
it's so good. For like 2
I
weeks,
just-
Maya would just be in work chat like, I'm making triangles today, gang.
I'm making I know, and my desk is still covered in triangles because I have I also have a monster D20 that is like 3/4 of the way through the process because it would be very cooking show like, and then it looks like this, and it just looks like a nightmare. But it'll be really fun to see you guys there, and if anybody's interested in crafts, come craft with me. I can't wait to do it.
I love that.
All right, as for more Q&A questions, let's see what we've got here. Oh, you know what? I will actually ask this because this question is for Alex specifically. Alex, have you continued Disco Elysium?
No, I've decided that's my canon ending.
Okay.
I don't remember where I posted about this, but like I bounced off Disco Elysium hard the first time I tried to play it. So I sat down, like some night I had a bunch of time and I was like, I'll like try to get into this, right? Because it's like a good game, right? And so like I sat down, I built my little guy, I went through like the opening again where you have to get dressed and whatever. I went down, I met the nice Kim Kitsuragi man that everyone on the internet loves. I went to a crime scene, and then I got bullied by a child so hard that I quit my job and lost the game. And so I've just decided that that's, as far as I'm concerned, the canon ending to Disco Elysium is that a small child bullies a cop into quitting his job.
Alex,
and that's fine. So yeah.
That's exactly as far as I got.
Oh my
I
gosh.
just decided that that's the canon ending, and I don't need to play it anymore.
I mean, 2 people having the same ending means that really is how it ends.
As far as I'm concerned, that's the canon ending of
You
Disco
heard
Elysium.
at Paizo Live, folks, that's how Disco Elysium ends. We're sorry for spoiling the end of that game, but
Sorry,
that's
it's
what
an
happened.
hour-long game. Everything you've seen on the internet past that is just like an elaborate ruse. that
Made up,
everyone
it's
else
all
has
fan
kept
fiction, it ends right there.
up. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's just how the game ends. I wasn't looking at the question, so I'm just going to ask a wildcard question to the folks who were around during the free RPG Day segment. Which pre-gen in either Pathfinder or Starfinder are you picking for your free RPG Day adventure? Which one are you going to play?
I'm gonna play Navasi because I clearly don't boss people around enough, so I'm gonna do that.
I think the Starfinder 2 Envoy is so fun, so that's great.
It's a lot of fun.
I'm gonna play Ruvier, who is our Erastiline cleric. Everybody calls him Gramps, and he's great. He's a very cranky old elf man.
I'm going to GM, but if I end up playing, I will probably play Day because Solarian is freaking cool. That's why. And Day is awesome.
Day is awesome, it's true.
And I will round us out with one more question, and this one is specifically for Jessica. Can you talk about how Vlaka senses work in 2E? It says, we all love Gonzo Cantina species and varied senses are awesome, but there's so many questions about how do I overcome this in 1E? So can you talk about that a little bit with us?
Yeah. So that's specific.
very specific.
Vlakas are awesome. I will start with. So Vlakas are kind of wolf-like nomads. They've got these thick fur, and they are very often born either deaf, blind, or deafblind. They all have an incredible sense of smell. So that is maintained in 2nd edition. When you become a Vlaka, you kind of get to pick your the senses that you do possess. And regardless which one you pick, you will be able to fully function as a character, right? Like every Vlaka, whatever your senses are, you can do that no problem. So I don't want to get into nitpicky mechanics right now, but you can do those things. If you are a blind Vlaka, deaf-blind, deaf, or you are hearing and sighted, you will be perfectly functioning as an adventurer for sure.
I love the Block. I think that they're really great, and I'm excited to see them come back in 2E along with all of our other wonderful species. I'm so excited. I found out that there's a species coming later that I won't say out loud. That's one of my favorites, and I'm just like, yes, I can't wait for that one. Jessica knows the one. She told me.
That's one of my favorites too.
It's so good.
But I have a lot
So
of
good.
favorites, so that's not a very good clue for people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, could be any of a dozen characters, truly. Anyway, I think that just about wraps us up for the show. Why don't we start with Shay and go clockwise? Do you want to say goodbye to the people, let them know where you can find or where they can find you on the internet? If you have any other fun, exciting projects coming up you'd like to shout out, now's an excellent time to do that. So yeah, Shay.
Yeah, I'm Shay Snow. I'm a Pathfinder Society developer. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me pretty much everywhere under the username Spells and Sugar. Specifically, I'm extremely active on Reddit and on Blue Sky. I also have a Patreon where I drop third-party Pathfinder content, and soon, maybe, third-party Starfinder 2e content once that drops.
Yay, Starfinder.
You know what? Let me give a little OP spoiler.
I didn't authorize this, but that's fine.
Daskari is coming, and he's ready for you.
Oh no! Oh no! Such
Thanks.
normal times in Pathfinder Society. Jessica.
Hey, I'm Jessica Catalan. I'm a senior developer and head of the Starfinder Society. My pronouns are she, her. You can find me on most things as D20 Diaries. Not a ton on social media right now, though. I'm kind of in between platforms, so...
All right, Mike.
My name is Mike Kimmel, he, him. I'm a developer on Starfinder, and you can find me on Blue Sky. I believe it's M. Kimmel. I'm technically on there and post sometimes, or you can ask me questions. I also will be at NorwestCon in SeaTac near Seattle later in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from now. So I'll be there representing Paizo along with Jenny Jarzabski. And the super secret project I'm excited to tell you about is like Player Core is coming. It's coming. Starfinder Player Core is going to be so awesome, and I can't wait for people to play our game. It's going to be great.
So exciting, so fun. Can't wait. Joe?
Yeah, I'm Joe Pasini, he, him, lead designer of Paizo Games, where we're making board and card games, including what I'm excited about, which is the Starfinder Infinity deck, which we will learn more about coming up. And I'm Joe Adultman on the internet, like Twitch and Blue Sky primarily, where on Twitch I'll do puzzle games and solve cryptic crosswords. And by solve, I mean I'll beg chat to help me. That's not very good.
That's about how I would be doing too with cryptic crosswords, so like, sounds right.
And I am next. Hello, I am Maya. Yes. Honestly, you can find me mostly on like Battle.net, like play Overwatch with me. That's probably gonna be your best bet. And I want to type it into the Twitch because it's hard to see. It's the same as my username that will also show up in Twitch, which is Britmus309 #1905. But I'm also going to include my Etsy because I have like 2 Pokemon on there right now, and if you like Bulbasaur and Riolu, they are there to be owned by you. They're very cute. Yeah, so you can find me on Battle.net and Etsy. That's pretty much where I chill.
Excellent. I love that. I'm Alex Feidel, he, him. I'm our organized play coordinator. You can find me on the internets under my government name, Alex Feidel, anywhere where I wish to be found. I'm also running a super exciting game that I've been planning truly for like 5 years later this year. If you're interested in social deduction games, puzzle solving, or just like getting out of the house and doing a cool thing, check out the Pacific Northwest Mole, which I have just reshared on Blue Sky. You can come and play the mole with us for a weekend, and it'll be a delightful time. But yeah, also, I will also be at NorwestCon. Thank you for the reminder, Mike. I will also be there. I'm running a couple games. I'll just be there hanging out. So yeah, come say hi. I think that's it. Maya, take us home.
Okay, thank you guys all for coming to Paizo Live and spending this time with us. Be sure to mark your calendars for the next Paizo Live, which is May 2nd. We always do them the first Friday of the month. Same goblin time, same goblin place. Until then, you can get all of your Paizo updates by joining our newsletter on http://paizo.com/news. And we're also on all like lots of the social media. We've got X, we're on Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook. Those are all me, by the way, and also the forum. I will be there also. I'm kind of everywhere. Say hello to me. I will answer your questions. And we, as a Paizo people, would just love to talk to you and tell you about our games. It's fun.
Yes.
So thank you.
Hi,
Thank you
Maya.
for coming. Hi. I'm Maya.
All right. Thank you all so much. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.